What is happening, YouTube? Oh my goodness. First of all, Happy New Year's, everybody. This Clippers team started off 2024 insanely strong. What I mean by insanely strong, I mean we are just rolling, man. When the Harden trade happened at first, the Clippers looked like a mess. But in reality, it was just part of chemistry. It caused a lot of fans to panic, myself included. But a part of me tried to calm myself down, give the team some time, and then look what happened. This team all of a sudden is so hard to beat. Like this team is so well balanced. It's like the defense and the offense is so potent, and we beat so many good teams. We beat the Denver Nuggets, the defending champs. Um, we had some good convincing wins against the Dallas Mavericks, beat the Nuggets, beat the Sacramento Kings. Like, this is insane, man. Um, that comeback against the Golden State Warriors, it really started off a huge run. And this year, the new year 2024, we faced the Miami Heat, who has been doing pretty well lately. So that's pretty nice to see. Um, the Heat, they went to the finals and all that. The Heat, they got Jaime Jaquez, who's a pretty good rookie. He's from UCLA. He does his thing. Um, and then, they also got, Jimmy Butler didn't play. Bam played. Tyler Hero played. Duncan Robinson played. Um, my throat's a little kind of like sticky right now, so my apologies. But, anyways, the Miami Heat, they were pretty much beating us up in the first quarter, maybe in a little bit part of the second quarter. But then the Clippers showed resilience, and then they just dominated. And then, well, they made a comeback. Then the Clippers just dominated, and then they beat the Miami Heat. The Heat, man, like they're a solid team, but the Clippers. One thing about the Clippers, I kind of noticed that has been in their DNA is they like to start things a little bit slow sometimes. Not sometimes, but usually often. But then the Clippers just like step it up in the second quarter, second and third quarter and fourth quarter. Sometimes we have moments when it looks like we're blowing leads, but then the Clippers just find a way to prevail and get the W. This game versus the Suns, the Clippers just dominated pretty much most of the quarters, and especially when it mattered. The first half, we were up by 20 essentially. Um, then I want to say the third and fourth quarter, Phoenix kind of gained momentum. Well, they gained momentum, but then Clippers just found a way to you know put the gas on the pedal, and then ultimately beat the Suns, which is pretty good to see. Paul George, he did amazing, man. And also another thing about the Heat is the Heat, they just simply destroyed the Lakers, which the Lakers, they did win the in-season tournament. So um, that just shows how good the Clippers team is. Not trying to diss the Lakers right now. Lakers, hey, they've been in a mess, but they were they are the in-season tournament championship. So Clippers beating the Heat, and then the same Heat team being in the in-season tournament champion definitely says definitely says about the Clippers a lot. Definitely shows how good the Clippers is. But anyways, Paul George, amazing. 2 steals, 7 rebounds, um, 3 assists, 33 points. Very efficient. Did pretty efficient. Kawhi Leonard, same thing, man. And what's crazy about Kawhi is I think he didn't even have a point in the first quarter. But then second, third, fourth quarter, Kawhi Leonard took over and dropped 30 points. Um, did really good both sides of the ball. Defense and offense, grabbing rebounds. Ivica Zubac. Um, Zubac, he had some solid defensive presence. Um, he had moments when he he still had like some iffy moments when he just couldn't catch the ball, especially that one little pass, but wasn't too many. Um, his rebounding though was a lot lower than it should be, but thankfully Kawhi Leonard and Paul George made up for it, and got all the rebounds. James Harden, James Harden, he also started off slow, but then the second and third quarter he really picked it up, and then he finished off with 22 points, pretty efficient. Um, One thing that's really underrated about Harden is he is a pretty solid mid-range shooter. Because in the D'Antoni system, he either had to like drive to the basket or shoot the threes. But with the way how the Clippers are, um, you have the freedom to score on the way how you want to score. As long as you kind of move the ball around. Harden, he likes to shoot threes, catch and shoot. Um, Pretty solid with the midi and can drive. Not just, either a three or a layup. Mix it up. Terrence Mann, okay, out of all the people that I want to see do good, I'm glad Terrence Mann is having a bounce back. I know Terrence Mann lately, um, last month, he had a terrible stretch. I mean, the slump was bad. Couldn't hit anything. Um, even defense kind of like sagged off. But this game, in the Miami Heat game, basically the year 2024, Terrence Mann was a new man. He became the Terrence Mann that we knew, and I'm glad, this version of Terrence Mann came back because it's kind of a little bit unfortunate how people are so easy to forget the good moments that Terrence Mann did. Considering how when he had like just a rough stretch and all that, but now he stepped up. Um, it kind of shows that sometimes like you can't always just try to bash a player when he has like a small stretch of slumps, especially if the player did a lot for your team. Um, which is understandable if you like kind of like bash the player if it's like done moderately, as long as you're not trying to attack the player personally or really trying to derail his career. Because it does get pretty frustrating at times when Terrence Mann, had an off game, but I've always believed that, Terrence Mann is going to find his groove, and I'm so happy that Terrence Mann actually did stepped up. Especially him being in the untouchable label definitely made it very easy for fans to just like bash on him and all that. Um, I don't even think Terrence Mann is completely untouchable. Like if it's for another young role player, I would not hate the idea of moving him, but um, I definitely would not move Terrence Mann in a lot of situations, though. Um, we never forget the moments when Terrence Mann comes off big when it matters, especially in 2021. Um, and he always brings his grit and he brings his hustle. And a lot of teams could use a guy like Terrence Mann for sure. So, obviously, um, I get it. When a player has a bad game, it's easy to get frustrated with. Some, it's way easier to get frustrated with others, and some, you know, are a lot more easy to get patient with. You know what I'm saying? And Terrence, I'm surprised a lot of people actually kind of like bash Terrence Mann a lot. I mean, it was a long stretch of bad games, so I get it. But I'm just glad that he's starting to have some good games. Like, I'm not even like a 100% Terrence Mann stan. I do mess with Terrence Mann a lot, but we all know, everybody watching this channel knows my the player who I really stand is Brandon Boston Jr. and also Moussa Diabate. But that's off topic. But anyways, glad to see Terrence Mann do his thing. Daniel Tice, 3 for 5, 3 rebounds, 6 points. Um, Also, another news: Mason Plumlee, he did return, but he didn't get any minutes tonight. And what I've heard a little bit about Mason Plumlee definitely sheds a lot of hope, and it makes me really like him a lot as a person in general. Plumlee, I think he said that um that he's perfectly fine sitting on the bench, letting Daniel Tice take his spot, and I feel it was pretty touching because that just shows that how selfless Art he is as a person, and that type of mentality, um, you know, like definitely shows a perfect character of what you want in your locker room. Because having as many, locker room friendly type people, in the locker room is the recipe of success to win a championship, because you can have all the talent you want, but if the person is a locker room cancer, things could easily go wrong. And I'm glad Plumlee is pretty much, you know, a locker room friendly type of guy. And mad respects him for doing that. And also, he had a pretty good game in the playoff, and he still took a very team friendly deal. Huge respects to him. Russell Westbrook, um, you know, field goal wise, wasn't really the best. He be missing, a good amount of layups. But one thing about Russell Westbrook is he always brings his hustle and he brings his grit. 5 rebounds and 2 assists, 2 steals. So even though he be missing layups, he always tries to find a way to contribute. 18 minutes and rebound assist is crazy. And 2 steals, mad respect. Mad respect. Um, Hopefully during the playoffs, he definitely his minutes gets bumped up more, because I think his play style really like really is pretty good during in the playoff environment, because in the playoff you need a guy who can hustle and bring that electric energy, and Russell Westbrook is that man. So you know he's not sometimes a lot of times he's not even playing 20 minutes, which is pretty unfortunate, but just hope during playoff he could get at least like 25 minutes or 30 minutes, even 30 minutes. Like, that would be so beautiful to see, because Russell Westbrook, even though his low minutes, we know what Russell Westbrook brings for the team. We all know he is the heart and soul of the Clippers already, despite him not being a Clipper for, despite him being a Clipper for not even one entire year. Um, this man changed the Clippers, man. He brought hustle. He brought the energy. He brought the love. He brought the sacrifice. Um, like how I was praising Mason Plumlee. Russell Westbrook was pretty much the root of all that, because Russell Westbrook, he had a monster moment in the playoffs. Um, yeah, stats doesn't look pretty, but if you watch the games, Russell Westbrook brings that tenacity. He brings the energy. He locked up KD at times. And what did Russell Westbrook do? He could have chose to take more money anywhere else. Miami would have gave him a lot of money, um, or any other team. But Russell Westbrook, he chose to take the biggest pay cut possible. 2 years, that's 2 years, $8 million. Him taking a pay cut definitely even made me like, okay, let me phrase this properly. um, Russell Westbrook taking a pay cut definitely made me turn me to a Russell Westbrook stan on it, essentially, because who on earth actually has the guts to do that? Nobody. Nobody. Respects to Russ, man. And literally last year, I was the opposite of a Russell Westbrook fan. I was a doubter, and I can't believe I was a doubter. But you know, late better than never. Late better than never. Um, all right, Amir Coffee, his minutes got bumped down, obviously. But when Kawhi was on the bench, Amir Coffee, I thought he stepped up pretty well. Um, he was kind of like a Nicholas Batum type player. If you need a wide open three, he got you. Amir Coffee, he pretty much went to scored one field goal and then went to the free throw line. Missed one free throw, but I thought he did his job. Pretty solid player. I like Amir Coffee. He was on the team for a while. Um, Ups and downs, but overall, he's a solid asset for us. And he stepped up big. He stepped up big when we needed him. Norman Powell. Norman Powell. His defense was off, in my opinion. I felt like his defense could have been better, but his offense was on, so that definitely made up for it, especially that clutch three towards the end. 3 for 5, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. But so Norman Powell is kind of like a mixed reaction. He had moments when it looked like he was selling defense and his turnovers, but again, his offense was solid. And Norman Powell has been stepping up lately, and he's done it pretty efficiently too. So that was pretty nice to see. But now let's talk about the Phoenix Suns a bit. The Suns, Kevin Durant got hurt, so you can see what's his name, Frank Vogel. He pretty much done things to kind of like mix the rotations up. Chimezie Metu started 7 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. His offense was kind of off, especially his threes. But I watched his game one time, and it was against the Dallas Mavericks, and that man, he hustled. He hustles. And I think he even got 10 rebounds. Overall, he is, a solid role player, I guess. This game, he didn't show it as much. Nurkic, 9 points. Rebounding was a lot lower. Only 6 rebounds. Bradley Beal didn't have a good game. 7 for 20. He did get 21 points, and so he did, went to the line. 2 steals, 1 block, 5 rebounds. Grayson Allen, he did okay. 4 for 9, 4 rebounds, 2 steals, 3 assists. Defense, we were just cooking them. So, and then Devin Booker, he had a pretty good game. First half did start off slow, but then second half he definitely stepped up. 35 points. Got his buckets, 6 assists, 2 rebounds. Defense was, so-so because again, you're going against Kawhi, Paul George. You're going up against Kawhi, Paul George, Harden, and man, everybody on the Clippers was just cooking. Eubanks didn't play much minutes, so can't really say too much. Bates, Diop, I believe he hit 1 3 and 3 assists and 1 steal. Didn't really do too much. Okogie, pretty solid defender. Had 1 nice drive to the basket, 1 3, 2 rebounds, and 1 assist. A solid 3-and-D player. Um, Bobo, he actually played a good amount of minutes, and I'm glad to see him actually play minutes because I feel like Bobo is a pretty solid player. It's just teams, they refuse to give him a chance, and would love to see him get minutes because he's a he's all around big. He is pretty skinny, but he's very skilled. He can shoot the ball pretty well. Um, you know, pretty shifty. Um, 6 for 7, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 14 points. I believe that was a pretty good signing by the Phoenix Suns. Um, but if I were the Suns, I'd like to see Bobo get more minutes because I feel if you give Bobo consistent minutes, I feel he definitely could be a very good quality player. Um, maybe even a fringe level star. Um, because he got drafted to Denver Nuggets, and when you play with the Nuggets and you're a center, it's pretty much impossible for him to play minutes because, of course, you're not playing over the MVP, Nikola Jokic. Um, then he went to the Orlando Magic. Orlando, I don't really understand why they didn't give him too much minutes. Um, I guess they got Bankero and they got Wendell Carter Jr. So I guess it was also hard for him to get minutes there. But now he's with the Suns, and he's just getting minutes now because KD is out. But you know, if I were a Suns fan, I would definitely hope for Bobo to play some more minutes. Eric Gordon, man oh man, Eric Gordon is one of the guys that I kind of dislike as a Clipper. Not personally, but it's because he costed us the first round pick that could have got us Cam Whitmore, and we traded down. And I felt like that trade was so unnecessary, but he had a really good game. 50% from three. Very good at driving to the basket. 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 16 points. Really solid performance, and he was definitely key for helping the Suns having like a good comeback burst. But that should pretty much end this video. Thankfully, the Clippers managed to pull it off and get this win. I felt like if it was like a year or two ago, I think the Clippers would have probably, lost the game. But this team is just a different type of team, and the Clippers just prevailed and we just won. But anyways, that should end this video. Let me know what you think about this team, man. This team's looking amazing. But anyways, good night and go Clippers. Peace.